Welcome. I go by Wisteria Well, and in this reading, we're going to look at what the coming season has in store for you. This will cover the 6-week period starting at Halloween and going through the winter solstice in December. In this reading, we'll start by pulling a few Lenormand cards to get a quick timeline of what you can expect in your season ahead. And then we'll use tarot cards to look at the areas specifically of love and relationships, work and projects, health, and what you need to know overall. And we'll finish off with some advice for you. To help you choose your reading, we have 3 cards here. Group 1 is Deer on the left. Group 2 is Hyena in the middle. And Group 3 is Dragon on the right. Take your time. It's totally okay to resonate with more than one group. When you're ready, the timestamps for each reading will be in the video description below, and I'll see you at your reading. Hi, Group 1. If you chose the Deer, this is going to be your reading on your season ahead. We'll start by pulling a few Lenormand cards to give you a timeline of what you can expect in your life in the coming season. You have the Anchor. You have the Gentleman. I'm not going to take this one because it came out face down and it fell off the board. So let's get one more card for you. Well, you got 2 cards, but they both came out face up, so I'll take them. I would like to note that your underlying energy on the bottom of the deck after I finish shuffling is the Lady, and you have the Gentleman here. So there could be a relationship involved in this group, or at the very least, counterpart energy between 2 people that is figuring very prominently in your life in the coming season. I'm sensing that this Gentleman figure is coming from a very stable place with this Anchor card behind him. He might be the type of person who brings a lot of stability with him into any situation. However, in some situations, it is possible with this anchor behind him that he might be bringing a certain amount of perhaps personal baggage. He might be carrying something that is really kind of weighing on him. This Gentleman is wanting to move towards something or move into a new situation and possibly bring stability and a very strong foundation into that situation. This is potentially moving away from something that has been very well established for a long time into something new. However, I feel like this new endeavor is also something that this person would like to become very well established and long lasting. This is something that could allow this Gentleman figure to embrace more of his creative side or more of his softer side. I am sensing a strong feminine energy on this end of the reading with the lilies and the stork, so it is possible that this involves a feminine presence that this Gentleman is moving toward. The lilies can also represent a long-lasting relationship, the type of relationship that lasts until you grow old together. And with the stork card, this can represent recurring cycles. So this might be something that is coming back from the past, or this might be a long-established relationship, or the type of relationship where the feelings have been there for a very, very long time. Even if this is a newer connection, this is something that has the potential to become a lifelong connection. With the stork card, these could be 2 people who always come back to each other. But the stork also represents change and making a change, which emphasizes what I was saying earlier, that this Gentleman seems to be walking away from the Anchor card, which is representing an already well-established, long-standing situation, and moving into something new. The stork card supports this. This could represent starting a family or healing long-standing family patterns, potentially even ancestral patterns that date far back into the past. And this could have to do with the maternal line or mother figures. And for a small number of you, this could actually be a child being conceived or being born during the season ahead, if that's something that you want and that you're open to. I do sense that this gentleman figure is moving out of something that feels very heavy and into something that feels lighter and more hopeful. For many of you, I feel like this gentleman figure is moving toward you in the coming season. However, the energies could be reversed, so some of you might identify as the gentleman, and that's completely okay. Take it however it resonates. It really feels like the weight of a past or current situation is really pulling on this gentleman figure. However, I feel like this gentleman is really wanting to move forward into this newer energy. And what I'm seeing in the cards is that the gentleman does ultimately move forward. Let's go ahead and get more specific with the tarot. We're going to look at the areas of love and relationships, work and projects, your health, and what you need to know overall. For love and relationships, you have the Six of Wands. For work and projects, you have the Four of Cups in reverse. For health, you have the Daughter of Cups. And what you need to know overall is the Mother of Pentacles in reverse, which I think is very interesting because it's mirroring this Deer card that you chose for your reading. The Six of Wands in the area of love and relationships is really just emphasizing this storyline that was coming through with the gentleman moving into this new energy. I feel like there's a breakthrough in a relationship in your life, possibly even someone returning into your life or someone finally making a decision. This is a card of success and of getting your desired outcome. In the area of work and projects, you have the Four of Cups. You might feel conflicted in the coming season about where you should be devoting your energy. You might feel obligated to focus on the tasks and responsibilities that are already in front of you, even though you might actually feel called to work on other projects that are more inspiring or more appealing to you at this time. If you feel motivated or inspired to work on something or to pursue a sudden opportunity that was unexpected, even if it's not what you planned, and even if you feel like you have so many other things going on that you need to focus on, it's important not to let these moments pass you by in the season ahead. If something you're working on no longer feels right to you and is no longer inspiring you, it's important to acknowledge that so that you don't remain stuck in those situations. In the area of your health, you have the Daughter of Cups. Emotional health is something to really focus on in the coming season. This is a good time to get in touch with your inner child and think about the relationship that has to your mental and physical health. You might physically benefit from activities that feel more playful and effortless rather than strenuous exercise during this time or strenuous activity during this time. This isn't a time to be really hard on yourself or to overload your schedule and overwork yourself. Be very gentle with yourself in the coming season, and this will benefit your health. You might actually be recovering from a period of stress or burnout, or perhaps even a previous illness during this time. You're starting to recover and regain some of your strength, but again, it's important to go really easy on yourself. Be sure to take good care of yourself and make sure to make time for things that are good for you that are also enjoyable for you. The Daughter of Cups represents the element of water, and I'm getting a mental image of someone soaking in a bath or perhaps even going swimming, depending on where you live. Taking a salt bath or an aromatherapy bath might be really beneficial to you in the coming season, or any activities available to you involving water. Again, there's a tie between your emotional well-being and your overall health that is calling for your attention at this time. What you need to know overall is the Mother of Pentacles in reverse. This could represent an earth sign, Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus. This could either be you or someone around you. It doesn't have to be an actual astrological placement. It could simply be someone embodying the archetype of the Mother of Pentacles. You might be experiencing feelings of uncertainty during the season ahead. You might also find that maybe you're not getting enough rest, or you're not eating well, or your physical well-being is not being tended to. This could cause you to act out in ways that might come across as possessive or controlling or critical. Or someone close to you might be acting in this way. The Deer card is your overall advice and guidance for your season ahead, which is so appropriate because this is exactly how to balance the energy of this Mother of Pentacles in reverse. This Deer card is indicating to me that you're actually a very gentle and caring person by nature, Group 1. And it's important to embrace that at this time and not to deny it. The Mother of Pentacles might have been in reverse because some of you might be not fully expressing your caring, gentle nature. And that goes for yourself as well. You might be caring and gentle toward everyone but yourself. You might put yourself last. It's important to be just as caring and nurturing toward yourself as you would be toward others. That way you actually have something left to give and you're not just depleted. The Deer card is also associated with becoming a new parent, which is echoing what I was seeing earlier in your reading regarding the stork. With this Mother of Pentacles in reverse, some of you might have apprehensions about the impending arrival of a new child. Again, this is just for some of you, not necessarily for all of you. It is a general reading, but please take that message if it does resonate with your situation. If you are becoming a new parent, the Deer card is here to reassure you that you have everything within you necessary to be a loving and caring parent. Some of you might be healing a relationship with a maternal figure in your life right now. As I was saying earlier, this could also involve ancestral healing that goes all the way back down your matrilineal line. This could also be any strong female presence in your life. Even if this person is no longer in your life, or even if you decide that it's healthiest for you to part ways with this person, you can still work on healing from this situation and recognizing whatever dynamic was playing out between you. Some of you might have worked with this Mother of Pentacles figure in the past, or you might currently be working with this person and you might be considering no longer continuing to work with them. For some of you who have this gentleman figure coming toward you, this Mother of Pentacles figure might present some kind of obstacle between the two of you, or this might be someone from his past that he's had to release and walk away from in order to move toward you. Again, those energies could be reversed. For all of you, Group 1, whatever your specific situation might be, this Deer card is a reminder not to get so caught up in stress and anxiety that you forget to take care of yourself and that you also forget to be present in the moment. The Mother of Pentacles in reverse can indicate a desperate need to get more grounded, and that's what the Deer card is all about as well. It's really important to focus on whatever daily practices, however small they might be, help you to feel more grounded and more present in the coming season. The Deer card, in a general sense, can also represent being receptive to new things coming into your life. I'm also sensing a connection between these themes and the Four of Cups in reverse that was coming up in your area of work and projects. You might feel inspired to go in a new direction with work or projects in the coming season, Group 1, and for some reason you might try to hold yourself back from doing that, but I think that it's actually really important for you to make space for the things that are calling to you right now. The Deer indicates that you have a lot of creative energy and you have the power to bring a lot of things into form in your life right now. You have the power to bring about tangible results with anything that you choose to pursue or work on. It's important this season not to hold yourself back and not to restrict yourself in terms of what's possible. All right, Group 1, I'm going to leave your reading here. I really hope that was helpful. Thank you so much for being here. For shorter daily readings, you can also check out my TikTok channel. I'll see you next time. Thank you for being here and being yourself. Hi, Group 2. If you chose the hyena, this is going to be your reading on what the coming season has in store for you. Let's go ahead and get started with a few Lenormand cards. You have the snake coming out right at the very beginning. That is a very Scorpio kind of energy, and we are starting out in Scorpio season, so that's kind of appropriate. Let's see what else comes out for you. you have the Clover, and you have the House. There is a sudden change in store for you this season, Group 2, with this Clover card. And whatever it is, it's going to be very lucky and probably happen very quickly and very suddenly. In traditional cartomancy, the snake would be the Queen of Clubs or the Queen of Wands, and the House would be the King of Hearts or the King of Cups. So for some of you, there could be a relationship aspect here where these two energies are coming together. If this is the case, there could be a fire sign involved, which would be Sagittarius, Leo, or Aries. And there could also be a water sign involved, Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer. The hyena is a fire element card as well, so you might be a fire sign, so you might identify more with the snake or the Queen of Wands. However, these energies could go either way. On a more symbolic level, I'm also seeing moving into a period of more emotional stability and emotional security, possibly a more emotionally supportive, nurturing environment. After a time when you or someone around you maybe felt like they had to have their guard up, they had to have their defenses up. You or this other person had to constantly be looking out for your own best interest because nobody else was going to. I sense moving out of this energy again and moving into a much more emotionally nourishing type of energy. I feel like someone is finally able to find some kind of emotional relief and respite after what feels like a really, really exhausting journey. And this could even be the way that you or this person was raised. This could just be like the past and the background that you come from. That it was almost like you could never let your guard down, or they could never let their guard down. In the past, this snake person might also have had a tendency to be in relationships or situations where it was really all about their sexuality and not so much of an emotional component, and possibly even using their sexuality as a way to get ahead or survive. I do sense this snake person finally being able to move into a more secure situation where their emotions also matter and the emotional connection also matters just as much as the physical connection, and finally finding kind of a balance there between those two aspects of themselves. And this might be someone who hasn't been able to even really take their emotions into account for a really, really long time. And I see this person finally being able to do this. Let's go ahead and pull some tarot cards for you, Group 2, to look at these specific areas of love and relationships, work and projects, your health, and what you generally need to know. For love and relationships, you have the World in reverse, completing a cycle. For work and projects, you have the Two of Swords in reverse, resolving a stalemate or resolving some type of indecision. For your health, you have the Hanged Man in reverse, a lot of reversal energy. And for what you need to know in general, you have the Eight of Cups in reverse. Since I was picking up on so much Scorpio energy at the beginning of your reading, and the traditional ruler of Scorpio is Mars, the Mars retrograde that is starting on October 30th and lasting for quite a while. I can't remember exactly how long it lasts, but I want to say that it lasts for a couple of months. This Mars retrograde might be hitting you especially hard in the coming season, and that might be why you have so much reversed energy. Reversed energy is not inherently negative. It's either taking the traditional meaning of the card and flipping it around, or sometimes it can indicate something that is currently still in the process of coming into your life or still in the process of exiting your life. And we'll look at each of these more closely, but it's not necessarily a bad thing to have a lot of reversals in your reading. But that just shows me, again, that there might be a lot of things that are getting reviewed or refined or revisited in your life during this season with all these reversals. With the World card in reverse representing your area of love and relationships, I really do see finally getting closure and major resolution regarding past relationship patterns and things that have been affecting your relationships for a really long time. And honestly, when I look at this in the context of your first 3 cards, I really see a long-held relationship pattern being broken and changing for the better. I think that you could find yourself in a new type of relationship in the coming season that is so much better than anything that you've ever had before, and it's breaking a lot of past patterns that had become either really unhealthy for you or at the very least patterns that you had outgrown. In the area of work and projects, I see you resolving some kind of stalemate. However, this could involve a situation where you had almost kind of a truce with someone, or in some kind of situation where it was like you were both just kind of going along with it. And if that has been the case, I see you breaking out of that in the coming season. So there could be maybe a little bit of either conflict or maybe kind of a blow up that happens as you break out of that. But if that's the case for you, I feel like that was something that had really been holding you back in a sense, because you were always trying to maintain that tenuous, fragile kind of peace, and it was coming at a cost for you. So if you've been in any situations like that in regard to your work or projects that you're trying to get done in your life, I see you kind of breaking out of that, maybe going after what you want a little more, or standing up for what you want or your needs a little more, possibly even leaving a certain situation where you had to kind of like keep quiet in order to get by. I see you breaking out of those types of situations when it comes to your work and projects, and resolving any stalemates that had been holding you back. If there's something that you had been indecisive about, or a decision that you had been avoiding, or that maybe you hadn't been able to make because you didn't have all the information, this season is the time to finally make that decision, to finally make a move, and to finally just take some type of decisive action in your work and projects. With the Hanged Man in reverse for your area of health, I feel like you are coming out of a period where your health was really kind of in limbo. Like maybe you hadn't been feeling well, or you had been really fatigued, or maybe you've had kind of like a lingering health condition or illness and you had just kind of been waiting it out. And with this Hanged Man in reverse, I feel like you're finally turning a corner in terms of that. It's funny because you have all these reversals, but they're all kind of representing a breakthrough in some way. So there is a possibility for a positive turning point in regard to your health. However, I don't think it's going to be something that happens quickly. I think that it's still going to be a gradual process, but I do feel like you could start to see that change in the coming season. The Hanged Man in reverse can also indicate that you might be feeling impatient in regard to your health. And it's important to really honor that, but at the same time, it's important not to push yourself, especially if this is something that you can't really control. There might be something that your health is trying to show you in the coming season, and it might be difficult for you to see that. I feel like what your health is trying to show you is maybe that you do need to slow down, and maybe that you do need to give yourself more downtime, that would be really good for you. And this Hanged Man might be in reverse because you might be a little resistant to the idea of taking more downtime. or going easy on yourself, or letting things kind of take their natural course. You might be resistant to where your health is at this time. Like if you're needing a lot of rest or you're needing a lot of downtime, you might be resisting that. Whatever your health situation has been, it's possible that it's going to turn around, but it's going to turn around very slowly. And so in the coming season, you are going to need to be patient with it, even though you might not want to be. But it's really important to give yourself what you need in the area of health, even if it's not necessarily convenient for you, or it might not be exactly what you want. But giving yourself whatever you need health-wise is going to benefit you in the long run. And for what you need to know in general, you have the Eight of Cups in reverse. I'm getting a really unique message about this card. I'm getting the sense that a lot of you had kind of walled off your emotions. Maybe some of you had some really painful experiences in the past and you walked away from it, but when you walked away from it, you just completely walled yourself off emotionally. It's good to move on from things. However, resolving them in a healthy way means that you fully acknowledge and process all of those emotions so that you can release them. Because if you walk away from something and just wall it off without actually acknowledging and processing your feelings, those feelings never get fully released and they're always kind of there in your subconscious. So this is being brought to your attention, and this season is a really good time to kind of revisit some of these things so that you can release them. It's not that you have to completely go back to that emotional place, but just acknowledge it so that it can be released in a healthy way and a complete way. And this season is actually a really supportive time for doing that, because we're starting out in Scorpio season, and Scorpio season is all about transformation and ending things once and for all. So if there's anything in your life that you've needed closure on, this is a time when you can give yourself that closure and that release. We're also finishing up eclipse season on November 9th, but the energy of eclipses lingers for about 6 weeks after the actual eclipse is done. So that's almost this entire season. You're still going to have that eclipse energy that you can work with, which is really good for releasing things as well. So that's what you need to know for this season, is that there might be some things emotionally that you kind of walked away from in the past and walled off prematurely. And you're being called to kind of revisit that a little bit. Now, for a really, really small number of you, this could be a situation that you walked away from in the past with someone that maybe you're not completely done with. Maybe you kind of prematurely walked away from something that still could have had a chance. This is only for a small number of you. I'm not saying that you have to bring people or situations back into your life if you have no desire whatsoever to do that. But if there's anything from your past that you walked away from that you've kind of had regrets about, or maybe even someone walked away from the situation and you felt like they didn't give it enough of a chance, it's possible that this situation could come back around in the coming season and you might have another chance with it. However, for a lot of you, this could just be something from your past that you're fine with the fact that it's done and it's over, but you just need to kind of release those emotions once and for all, and don't let it cause you to completely wall yourself off from moving forward with your life and from having new experiences and being emotionally open to new things. This really ties in with this hyena card as well, which is your advice card for the coming season. Your advice is to not be in survival mode all the time. I feel like whatever painful experiences you've had in your past and whatever walls you've put up as a result of that, it's like you've just been living in survival mode constantly, like just trying to survive. It's almost like sometimes you might even feel as if you're stuck in fight or flight, which is a really uncomfortable way to be on a day-to-day long-term basis. Like, fight or flight is only supposed to help you for very short periods when your actual survival is in question. But you're not meant to just live your entire life in this fight or flight kind of state. And so this is your guidance for this month, is that your awareness is being brought to the fact that you might be living life in survival mode. You might have your defenses up all the time, even when maybe they don't need to be, and even when maybe they're not serving you. So that's something to really examine in this coming season. And you might not always show all of your true self because you always have your defenses up. And I feel like this especially involves your emotional self. You might have a real challenge being emotionally vulnerable with others. Even people that you want to be close to, it might be difficult for you to get close, even to the people that you care about, because maybe it's kind of difficult for you to have that emotional vulnerability. So that's something for you to really look at this season. It might also be hard for you to even know what your feelings are in some situations in your life. And that can really hold you back from pursuing what you want, because it's hard to know what you truly want when you're not in touch with your own feelings. So this is your guidance for the season ahead, is to kind of look at your emotional landscape and your emotional well-being and just kind of start to get in touch with what are your true feelings about different things in your life, and what are those feelings showing you that you really want in these different areas of your life. All right, group 2, I'm going to leave your reading here. I really hope this was helpful for you. For shorter daily readings, you can also check out my TikTok channel. I'll see you next time at your next reading. Thank you for being here and for being yourself. Hi, group 3. If you chose the dragon, this is going to be your reading on what the coming season has in store for you. Let's go ahead and pull a few Lenormand cards to get a general timeline for what you can expect this season. That flipped over. I'm going to take it. You have the ship. Oh my gosh, the cards just exploded. Okay, I'm only going to take the one that came out face up, which is the stork. Group 1 also had this, but in a different position. But there might be some repeating energies going on. Oh my gosh. Cards are going everywhere. Okay. One more card for group 3. I will say your energy feels very expansive, and I'm hearing Jupiter. I know Jupiter just retrograded into Pisces, so that might be affecting you strongly with some of your astrological placements, or you might just have really strong Jupiter in your own birth chart. Or you might have someone coming into your life or playing a prominent role in your life who has strong Jupiter in their birth chart. But let's see what, the ring. Oh my gosh. That's so funny. I felt really compelled to say that about how it could be another person. And then you got the ring. I feel like some of you could be entering into some kind of commitment with someone else in the coming season. It could be a traditional commitment, like an engagement. That's totally possible. It could also be maybe like a work commitment, or like a living arrangement, or some kind of like formal agreement with someone else in your life. But with this ship and the stork, it feels like you are going through kind of a big change in the cycle of your life. With the ship, you could be traveling or moving a really long distance, or someone might be traveling to where you are. I'm kind of hearing in my mind that you could even be meeting someone who is either just moving to your area, or who is really far away from you, but you kind of like connect with them across a long distance. This could be a potential romantic interest, or it could be a potential collaborator or employer. We'll see what comes up as we get into the rest of your cards. And I'm also seeing this pattern of overcoming some kind of really big cycle in your life in order to start a new cycle with a new commitment. The ship can also represent something that you've been longing for. And with the stork, there's a sense of change happening. And ending with the ring card, I feel like you're finally getting something that you've been longing for. You're finally getting something that you have really wanted that seemed really far out of your reach, perhaps. There's a big change happening here. There is the energy of travel and also of recurring cycles or recurring situations. You might be traveling somewhere, and this might even be a trip that you take on a regular basis or annually or something like that. Or this could just be some kind of travel that is due to a recurring situation in your life. So let's go ahead and look at your tarot cards to get a little more specific. We're going to look at your area of love and relationships, work and projects, health, and what you need to know in general. For love and relationships, you have the Three of Swords. For work and projects, you have the Five of Wands in reverse. For health, you have the Chariot in reverse. And for what you need to know overall, you have the Emperor. With this Three of Swords in your love and relationships, and looking at the other cards that you have, someone that you love is having to travel a long distance away from you. And I think that this is a very painful time for you with this person. It doesn't necessarily mean that your relationship with this person is ending. That is going to be unique to each of you because this is a general reading. However, I do feel like no matter what happens in this situation, I think that ultimately this person is going to come back, because again, I was getting that energy of like something that's recurring, like a recurring cycle or a recurring pattern. I feel like even if there's a distance between you and this person at the beginning of this season, I think that this person is ultimately going to come back and you are going to be in a lasting commitment with this person. And I feel like this person is being represented in your reading by the Emperor card. Now, you can also embody the energies of the Emperor, and this card probably has some guidance for you as well, and we'll get into that in a moment. But I feel like this card is coming up as what you need to know because you probably are having some doubts about the situation with this person being so far away from you, or with there being a separation of some kind between you and this person. And I think this Emperor is coming up in your reading to tell you that this person is still going to be a strong and steady presence in your life. And if they seem absent from your life for a while, I do see indications that they are going to come back and that this is going to be a lasting commitment with this person. The Emperor is also the card of Aries. They don't have to be an Aries, but someone in this connection could be an Aries. That could be a confirmation for someone. In your area of work and projects, you have the Five of Wands in reverse. I feel like there has been a lot of competition and rivalry in this area of your life, and it's probably been very frustrating for you and probably very draining. I do see that resolving. It's either going to resolve within your current situation, or some of you might end up walking away into a new situation. So either way, I feel like you are stepping out of this energy that has been very confused and very scattered is what I'm sensing. I feel like you are finally leaving that behind in the coming season and resolving any confusion. It's also really important for you with whatever you're working on right now to not allow your energies to become too scattered, to really kind of make yourself focus and prioritize what's really important to you and not let your energy get pulled into a bunch of different directions, especially if you have a lot of people around you in the context of your work or your projects who are demanding your attention for different things or advocating for their own priorities. It's important to be really clear about your priorities and not let yourself get too scattered. In the area of your health, you have the Chariot in reverse. For some of you, I feel like if someone that you care about is having to travel a long distance away from you, I feel like your health might actually be a factor in not being able to go with them. That's just for a small number of you, but that just came into my mind all of a sudden. But for the most part, group 3, I'm really just feeling with this card that you're feeling kind of disempowered in the area of your health. You might feel like you're not able to make the choices that you want to make or that you need to make around your health. I feel like some of you might have voices in your life who are telling you to do conflicting things in regard to your health, or telling you to do things in regard to your health that you just don't think are what's best for you. I'm clearly not a health professional and I can't give you health advice, but I can tell you with this Chariot card, this is bringing to your attention that there's a disconnect between what you think is best and what some people are telling you is best. The Chariot represents the zodiac sign of Cancer. You might have strong Cancer placements in your own chart, or you might have had a Cancerian individual who had been helping you out a lot with your health. Either a caregiver or a healthcare provider, or maybe even a therapist or counselor. And for some reason, you might either no longer have this person available to you, or you might find that maybe at this current moment, what this person is advocating might be at odds with what you feel is best for you. But for most of you, group 3, I feel like this Chariot card is in reverse because you are feeling maybe like you don't have the level of control over your health that you would like to, or you're not able to bring your health in the direction that you would like to in this coming season. Your health requirements might be asking you to step outside your comfort zone in a way that might feel a little uncomfortable for you at first. There might be something that you need to do in order to move forward with your health and tend to your health that maybe you have some hesitation about for some reason. I do think it's important for you to factor in your own inner guidance and trust your own judgment when it comes to your health. This might be a time when other areas of your life need to maybe take a back seat so that your health can take priority. You might need to postpone moving forward in some areas so that you can prioritize your health for a little while. With this Chariot in reverse, I also think it's important not to rush into any rash or impulsive decisions regarding your health. Take your time and gather as much information as possible and really consider all factors before rushing into anything. For what you need to know, you have the Emperor. As I said before, for those of you who are dealing with a situation involving another person, I think that this is showing up as confirmation representing that other person, and the fact that despite any separation that might be happening between you in the coming season, this is ultimately going to come back around as a lasting commitment. In addition to that, this Emperor card is once again emphasizing the importance of trusting your own judgment, taking decisive action, not being afraid to take up space in your life and meet your needs in whatever way is necessary. I do get the sense with the other cards that you have in your area of work and projects, and also even in your area of health, that you might have a tendency to let others take priority over yourself, or possibly even let others steamroll you a little bit. And it's really important to stand up for yourself in the coming season with this Emperor card. This Emperor card can also represent authority figures in your life. These could be masculine type figures. They could be father or like paternal type figures, either literally or figuratively, just in the role that they're playing in your life at this time. But there might be some paternal or authority figures in your life that are really in your head right now and maybe influencing you in such a way that is actually kind of confusing you or making you doubt yourself. And this Emperor card is here to tell you that you need to embody this Emperor energy. Don't look to anyone else to be the authority on your life. Now, I'm not saying to completely disregard the advice of people who have a lot of information to share with you and a lot of knowledge to share with you. However, you should never discount your own judgment. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to advocate for yourself. Don't be apologetic about making the decisions that are right for you. It's also possible that you have some very positive paternal type figures or masculine figures in your life in the coming season who you can really lean on and look to for stability and support, and who can help you find that stability and support within yourself as well by being a kind of a positive model for that. The Dragon card suggests that you are really going through a time of awakening to your own power. There might be a lot of situations in your life in the coming season that seem beyond your control, and maybe some circumstances are beyond your control. The Dragon is a reminder to put things in perspective. A lot of the situations that we face on a day-to-day basis turn out to be smaller than we think, especially when you look at the big picture of your life. That's the reminder of the Dragon, is that everything is temporary. Every cycle in your life has a beginning and an end, and whatever you're going through right now is no different. The Dragon is a reminder to keep things in a greater perspective and to not forget your power and not give up your power to others. I'm going to leave your reading here, Group 3. I'll see you next time. For shorter daily readings, you can check out my TikTok channel. Thank you for being here and for being yourself.